Okay, so here we go. We're starting afresh. I have done it again. I forgot to press the record button on the camera and started painting these. I've done quite a good bit on it already, but we'll talk you through what we've done. So, you know, basically what we've started doing is the quad bikers. Painted the skin using Jasper skin. Okay. Then from there, I forgot to paint the armor panels on them, so I went over that with matte black. And then using stone golem, I painted the t-shirts. Okay. And what I've just finished doing before I realised what was going on, I did the jacket with the Gravelord Grey, and then realised that the cameras were still set on standby rather than record. What a silly Billy I am. So what we're going to be doing now is using some wolf grey, which I've put down here. We're going to be doing the trousers. Okay, so it's a case of just getting in with this colour and making sure everywhere that is trouser is covered. Now what I was saying earlier is don't worry about perfection. When you're doing minis for the tabletop is not required. It's not an essential thing. However, if it's your personal goal to achieve as close to perfection as you possibly can with your mini painting, then I'm not going to stop you. But I'm not particularly aiming my videos for people who are good at painting, who know what they're doing. I'm aiming these videos for those who possibly are new to the hobby, who are looking at other mini painting videos as a little bit too precise and make everything seem a bit daunting. I'm trying to ease the newbie into the hobby, as it were, by just giving them the basics. 9 times out of 10 when I'm painting minis, I don't have a plan that goes into it. I just pick colours that I think might suit the mini, the style I'm going for, that kind of thing. It may not be the best way of going about it for a lot of people. I don't like the idea of giving a list of paints to use because in my mind I'm doing it to my taste, and my taste may not be yours. So I prefer to show you how I paint my minis, or in this case somebody else's minis who doesn't really who hasn't really given me an idea of what they want. They just sort of like give me free rein to do them. So I'm painting these minis, and I paint my minis in exactly the same way. which is, I look at the paint I have, I look at the mini, try and build a little story behind it, and then paint the mini in colours that I think matches. Now, the little story is not really a biography of the mini by any stretch of the imagination. It's just what I'm just imagining the kind of place it is that they are going to be. Like in this case, Ash Wastes. I don't think it's a way. I'm seeing it as not like a desert kind of thing that is just covered in ash. I'm looking at it. It is like a desert area, a barren land, but it's more sand, but it's black sand, and it's just got the nickname Ash Wastes because the black sand looks like ash from a distance. That's how I'm seeing it. I may be wrong there, but it's my interpretation, and I'm painting my minis sort of like that's to suit that kind of thing, that story, in certain circumstances. Now, with these being bikers, I want to put them in like a denim kind of look. So I'll go for this like pale denim grey colour. With black like a black-ish leathery jackets kind of vibe. With what you call it, brown leather accessories, as it were. Nothing majorly specific about these minis that are giving me like something to work at. It's just they're like a biker gang, so I'm trying to make them look like a stereotypical biker gang. Denim, leather, that kind of thing. So that's the way I'm approaching these minis. But when I get around to the other faction from this set, I will be doing them in a different way. And that story of the black sand looking like ash will come into that probably at that time, because I'll be painting them to give them like a camouflage look, whereas these are coming out from a city to cause some trouble, so it doesn't affect this particular thing. Now, when I get to a particular mini, something may have gone slightly different in respect to the painting that I'm doing, and I may have a little say, look, well, this is how I see this happening, and it's trying to think, just be able to justify why you've done something in some way. That's why I say I always like to have a little story in my head of the background for it. But 9 times out of 10, sorry, not 9 times out of 10, quite a lot of the time I look at minis and I'll have a little story in mind of what they're like. Other times something will happen as I'm painting. It will make me think, oh, okay, so this happens and I'm seeing this as such and such happening, and just make it up on the spot. That's the way I work. I pick colours that suit the mini, and if I've got a little story behind it, I will pick the colours to suit that. If not, then I'll make it up as I go. Along, and basically pick colours out that will hopefully suit the mini, suit the game, suit the setting, and make it look much more interesting. I'm just touching up little pieces here with the matte black. That's all I'm doing. I'm not painting anything specific. I'm just trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just trying to tidy up a few areas that I've gone over with either the blue or another colour. Not that I really need to, I can go over the majority of these, but there's also some spaces where I've actually missed painting. So when you get minis like this where there's a lot going on, it's easy to do that, but you know, it's a case of I try not to, and if I find that I have missed somewhere, I always like to go back and go over it before I go any further with it, because if you miss somewhere and you paint it, then what could happen is you can see a difference in the paint that you put over it. So always try and cover up where you can. Sometimes it's not very easy, but do what you can do. Okay, so that's that done. I'm just going back into the what's it called again? A stone golem paint, because I've just noticed that there is a little bit of the jacket colour on this t-shirt there. I'm not bothered about covering it all, because if it looks stained, it could be an oil stain, you know what I mean. That's how it looks, that's how I'm looking at it. Okay, so that's that done. What we can do now is we can look at some of the metal areas. So let's look at some of the metal areas. And what do we have? Alright, so I know what's what. Night scales, first of all. We don't need a great deal of this, because there's not a great deal of it that got used when I did the others. I basically did one part of these models, leave it there just in case I don't have enough, and this is going on the skull there. And I think that's all I use this for. I may be wrong. Let me have a good look at this and see. I don't think I used it anywhere else, so that's okay. I've got plenty on here then. That being the case, try not to get it on the t-shirts, he says, and then get it on the t-shirt. I'm just going to aim for what little coverage I can get. And it's not on that much. Now, the thing is, because this is a different thing, I'm going to be going over some other areas with this as well, I think. On the pallet, I've just put nice rough iron, and with this, we're going all over the rest of the metal areas on the bike. There we go. So everywhere that is metal, we'll get some of these on this, except the parts that I've just painted with the night scales. Don't want to paint over with, don't want to paint all that over. This is going to be a base coat for the metal, and we're going over this later on with a paler colour to highlight it, as we usually do. But as I said, this is the one I love using as a base coat for metal. It does give a lovely finish to it. And the final one, and then I think I've done with this colour. Just make sure that you go around as carefully as you can. Done that there, made a bit of a mistake, doesn't matter, come back again with black and do it one, go over it. Oh. And just give it the old 1-2 first of all. Make sure that, sorry, not the old 1-2, the old one's over. Making sure that you don't miss anything, and that's that. Next, okay, I was just testing the, I've just noticed I've not done the top of this gun.